Today, I wanted to demonstrate a lesson in Pear Deck. I think the power of Pear Deck is really the instructional piece and how you can use it with students in real time. So I just want to show what that would look like between students and the teacher. So on the left side here, you'll see the teacher mode on this black screen, and on the right is what the students would be seeing and responding with. So this is a fourth grade lesson on plot. And so you see here, you have a bell ringer that has what do you think plot is? And so the students would come in and share their response. And then really showing the power of Pear Deck over here, you can show the different responses anonymously. And so you have the students coming in with responses here. And so what you can do as instructionally, you can really get the students each thinking on their own, and then also share as a group, what different misconceptions are and where the students are at as a group, as a class. You can all see them together anonymously, so they don't really have a pressure to think it's their name attached to their answer. So next we can have a video that we can watch. This pulls up a link about plot into YouTube. And so then we start to really dig into the actual elements of it. And so with this lesson, what I really wanted to use Pear Deck in is having students think about each piece of a plot and be able to input their own ideas and be thinking about the storyline of a story. So we're using a very familiar story, Cinderella. We could have read a short story about it or watched a short video about the plot. And so something really familiar students are really familiar with. And so we'd start with kind of introducing each of the different elements of the plot pyramid over here. And so if on each slide I have a question, what do we know about Cinderella at the beginning of her story? And again, the students have an opportunity to kind of give their take, think on their own rather than just listening to classmates that are raising their hand. And again, we can all talk about, these different answers and really drill down to get the actual answer together. And so this is already built out so the students can see, kind of what their answers were versus what the actual answer is on this slide. And so I have that going for each element of the plot. And so they can answer and go through it and be actively engaged in this lesson because they're having to think of the answers to each of these questions, but in a really simple way that they should already know the answers to. And so we can go through each one and see how their answers match up with the answers that the teacher has on the slide here. And so we're going through each element of the plot, and this could be a really cool anchor chart at the end of it. So then we have a way that the students can actually get involved, use their knowledge that they've just learned, and they can, on their own, label the diagram. So you see how this student has already started labeling the different parts of the diagram. And they could continue to do this over here. So, and again, we could show how students are doing, how they're thinking. Like the student is not with the rest of the class, so we might need an intervention there. Another really cool thing is we can do a check-in. Students can place their dot where they're feeling, and so this teacher can get an idea, okay, I need to go back through and go a little slower on certain things. And then this is an application that the students can do on their own. It actually should pull up a preview over here, but the student would watch a video and get to build their own plot diagram from here. And so again, they would be able to use text and drawing to kind of show how they're learning and what they know about the plot diagram within this lesson. And again, we can share those class-wide and see how students are doing and understanding the lesson. And then the very last thing I have here is a bell ringer to end the lesson. In 1 minute, write what you think plot is. And so the student can do that over here, and you can really get a formative assessment going on of what they learned in the lesson and what you might need to clarify in the follow-up lessons.